Okay, Chuck, so here in lesson 2, we're going to work with the same two-chord progression, C and F, but this time we're going to change it up and do a little bit of improvisation over those. So you're not playing Imagine, you're really going to be just playing your own tune here, working off those same two chords. So again, we'll start in the exact same position in C that we did before, with the pinky on C and the thumb and the index on E and G with the right hand. But now we're going to, instead of playing the tune, we're just going to play the first chord, and then from there we're going to move up into one octave higher into the next level of C, and we're going to play some combos, some of the combos that I wrote down for you last time. And those are combos like C and G, and D and G, or E and G. Hopefully I'm not blocking the view there, but those notes again are these ones. That's C and G, that's D and G, that's E and G. So what that would look like if we were going to play just the C part here is we would play... And all I'm doing there is just playing each of those combinations, C and G, D and G, E and G, and then going back down, D and G, C and G. So altogether that's, each time I'm hitting two notes. The G is playing with each note. So again, that's, and the way that will sound when we put it all together is, we'll switch to the F there. Same F as we used in Imagine. And again, that's the pinky on F in the left hand with the thumb and the middle on the F and the A. And we're going to do the same thing, the same form that we did. Instead of playing with the C and the G, now we're going to play with the F and the C. And we're going to do the same type of progression. We're going to go F, C, G, C, A, C, G, C, F, and C. So if you just want to think of that as steps. That's up below there on the last note. But to put that all together, we're going to have... back to the C. And it's at this point that you can feel free to experiment with other combinations of notes. So once you have that down, and I would definitely recommend doing it at least so you can do this 5 or 6 times in a row perfectly without making any mistakes. The first thing that you are going to be getting used to is playing the different notes together. So you really want to work on your coordination. That's going to be the first thing that's important to getting. And so you want to probably start real slow and make sure that you're pressing all the notes together. But once you get that progression, you can do it 3 or 4 times in a row and not make any mistakes, then you can add in some other elements to it. And I'll give you an example of a few here. So again, we'll just start with the C. Now I'm going to start changing it up. And so that wasn't anything particular that I was playing. I was just playing within the notes of the C and the F scale, which happen to be all the white keys. So when you're playing in the improvising and stepping outside of your, the preset, you really just want to make sure that you're hitting C when you play the left hand C, and you're hitting F when the left hand plays F. But other than that, you can feel free to, move around the keys, and I always like to just kind of hit the main notes of the C scale, the E, the G, and the C, and you can just kind of walk up those. And then do the same thing with F. F, A, and C. And so we could just... When you're playing in a particular chord, when you're playing a chord with the left hand, whether that be the F or the C, if you hit out those main three notes, you can play them all the way up and down the keyboard, and they're always going to sound friendly with that chord. So when you're playing in the C, the E, and the G, you can play them all the way up and down, and it's always going to sound friendly. Same thing with the F. You can play the F, the A, and the C all the way up and all the way down, and those are always going to fit well together. And that's the end of lesson 2.